Here's the things that I'm gonna plant today, hopefully. I have a pot of mint. I'm gonna leave this in this spot for now. The plan is to plant this into planters. We got my Roma tomatoes, which is gonna be for sauce, onions, both that I started from seeds. There's some also. And I also have some bulbs that I saved from last year. And I do have some purple Cherokee tomatoes. And I do have some pepper plants as well. These are just leftovers from my home garden that I'm just gonna plug in here. You can see the beds or the pathway. So the first thing I have to do is weed whack most of this trunk. I have a couple of fallen trees here that again destroying my fence. You can see that the garden still has my old tomato stakes in the ground. When I came here in September, I only heard about harvesting the tomatoes, and I harvested the pumpkins and left everything as it is. So it's amazing how good of a job the weed whacker is doing. So this is the pathway that I just wanted to get rid of the weeds so I can walk on it, which is very nice. But the bed, I am actually going really close to the ground, just tearing up the top layer of the ground as well. So the good thing about it, I don't really have to do any weeding. This is going to be ready for planting. Of course, some of these weeds that I cut down, maybe it's not cut down deep enough, will come back, but if they do, I'll pull them. I'm finding some markers from last year and another stake. So yeah, this is, although it's hard, I think I'm gonna be able to do the rest of the beds in no time. I think this took me about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. It looks pretty good. This was the first bed that took me longer than the other two combined. So I feel like I harvested all the weeds, and hopefully this will turn into like hay and not grow back. I destroyed it pretty badly, so hopefully that will work. In the middle bed here I'm gonna plant my potatoes, and I'm sure I'm gonna be finding potatoes from last year because I planted a whole bunch of potatoes here and they just never grew. I'm gonna go around and just sprinkle the bone meal in each bed. The gold. I'm gonna do 2 rows of that, I guess. Alright, let's start here. I'll cover them later so I can come back and see what's what. There was a lot of rain lately, which is perfect for these potatoes to start growing. So at this point, I'm not expecting a huge harvest, but I want to have enough potatoes harvested so I have enough sweet potatoes for next year. 6 gold. This is what I'm talking about. I'm finding potatoes from last year. Okay. Next, it's going to be these guys, and this is the Corolla. Next one is Nicola. For tomatoes, I'm gonna use a different approach. I'm gonna weed big holes here. Ooh, that's some nice soil. Let's see. I'm not supposed to put it in a row. Nice. Purple, Cherokee purple. That might get a little bit too weak for this guy. These are the onions that I grew from seeds. These appear to be red, but it doesn't matter. If they get mixed up, it's fine. I'll recognize them when they go. I'm finding little potatoes. Let's see, I'm gonna put 6 across. gonna make it so it's easier to maybe weed them, hopefully, because they're gonna be in a grid. I'm done planting. This bed has some Roma tomatoes and Cherokee purple. This bed has potatoes, and then we got just one row of pepper. I have a row of shallots, 2.5 rows of German onions from Bob, and I have a row of green onions, and I have 3 rows of yellow onions out of seed, and I have 4 rows of red onions, so that's 4 times 6, 24, 18, and so on. On the other side, I planted 10 stations of pumpkins. Each station has 3 seeds in it, depending on how many will sprout. I'm gonna transplant some or just get rid of some. And then this bed has 14 stations of butternut squash. Again, each station has 3 seeds in it because the seeds are not so good. So today I will water the tomato, the pepper, and the onion seedlings, just to water them in, because I know it's gonna rain anyway. But I still have to go and finish weed whacking outside of the fence. I cleaned up pretty well, even the walkways are good. And I don't know if I'm gonna have energy to weed whack the fruit garden with the fruit trees. I'll see if I have juice left, but I also have to go up on the top of my driveway and weed whack at least the entryway, because you can't even tell there is an entrance. just too lazy to turn on the water, the running water, so I am washing myself in rainwater, especially because there could have been some poison ivy and I don't want that to soak into my skin. Of course I go home and shower, but for now this will keeps it all a bit off my skin. I'm gonna also wash my face. So this is where we are. I'll be back probably in a couple of weeks and I expect some weeds, and at that time hopefully I can tie up the tomatoes and weed whack that back part of the garden, and I'm gonna have to fix the fence. So there's a lot more to do just in the garden to make it perfect, but see you next time.